Hello friends, in this video we are going to look at all functions related to sum. There are 7 or 8 functions in Excel which starts with sum. I'm going to talk about each of those functions and when to use which particular function. So let's get started with. First, I'm going to discuss 4 basic functions which we use on a very regular basis. One is sum, then sumif, then sumifs, which is sumifs, and sumproduct. So I've created a very small example over here which has name, company name, which country, age group, years of service, and salary in US dollars. The first function which we are going to look at is sum. Now I've already put a formula over here, so I'm going to delete this formula and I'm going to redo this one. If you're using a Windows laptop, one of the easiest way to sum is to press Alt equals to sign. And if you do that, automatically a sum function will appear over here, which will look like this. Second way is, of course, as I did over here, I press this plus sign and automatically this has come out as a formula. The third way is you can type sum and then open a bracket and then drag and select the array which you want the field to be summed up and then close the bracket, press enter. So that's sum function for you. The second formula which we are going to look at is sumif. If you want to add something based on certain criteria, then sumif is the formula to be used. For example, in this sheet, if you want to sum based on what is the salary per country, then sumif can be used. Let's have a look at it. There are 2 ways you can insert the formula. The first method is you can go to formulas, go to maths and trigonometry, and then come down to sumif. This will open up this box on the right hand side. The advantage of opening up this box is this explains you what does this formula do. Also, it explains you each of this field of what data needs to be inputted over here. So let's use this box to fill up this sumif formula. The first one it asks is the range. Now the range is basically the country based on which we are going to sum. And I'm going to freeze this because we are going to copy the formula down. Then criteria is basically this one. And then sum range, which is nothing but this range, and I'm going to again freeze this one. Then click on done and you get the values. You can copy down the formulas from here to below and you will be able to get all the values for sumif formula. Now what if you have more than one criteria? And that's where the complications comes in. However, we should thank Microsoft because they have actually given us another formula where multiple criteria can be used. And that formula is sumifs, which is sumifs. Now for this formula, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use another method instead of going and clicking formulas and maths and trigonometry. So if you know or remember the formula, what you can do is you can simply type sum and it will give you all the list of sum formula and you can just select sumifs from here. Then what is the sum range is asked. We are supposed to sum this one. So let's freeze this. The next one is criteria range 1. We want by country. So we are going to basically select the countries over here. And again, let's freeze this one. What is the criteria 1? Criteria 1 is basically we want to select by country. Then what is the criteria range 2? We want it by company. So we are going to select the company over here and then freeze it. Again, the criteria is mentioned over here, so I'm going to select this one as criteria 2 and then close the bracket. Now before I close the bracket, I would like to highlight that Excel do allow you to go beyond 2 criteria as well. So you can add as many criteria as you want to. For this example, I'm going to stick to 2 criteria. So let me close the thing and sum it. And there you go. Now if I copy the formula over here, I'm going to get the value. If you want to cross verify it, England XYZ, is 100,000 and England XYZ is 150,000, which basically means $250,000. The last basic formula for sum is sumproduct. Sumproduct basically multiplies two criterias and then gives the sum of that. So if I have to show you in a broader way, let's say we want to know what is the total salary paid to all of these employees for all the years of service, then we need to multiply years of service by salary, assuming salary was fixed for all the years, and then we need to total this one. Now this definitely is a longer method, and if you have a huge set of data, it will definitely take you a long time to basically calculate in this particular way. So the easier formula is you can do sum product, and it will ask you for array 1, which is this one. Then you have to select the second array, and as you can notice over here, you can have array 3, array 4, and it will do the same functionality. But for this example, I'm going to stick to 2 arrays only. And if I close the bracket, I get sum product over here. Now let's move on to another formula, which is sumsq. Now the next 4 formulas which I'm going to discuss, generally when it comes to financial world, we don't use this formula very frequently unless we are working in some research company where we need to use this kind of formulas. So what sumsq does is basically it actually squares all the values in an array and then sums it up. So for example, if I have to do this one manually, so if I square this, then square this, then square this, well there is no value over here, but I want to basically copy the formula, and hence I am doing this one. There you go. So this is basically the manual way of doing this formula. Now, as you can imagine, if you have a long array of data, it will be really difficult for you to do this in a manual way. And hence, what we can do is we can simply use sumsq, open the bracket, just select the array from here, close the bracket and press enter, and you're going to get the same values over here. Now let's look at sumx2 my2. Now I've already created an example over here for your benefit, but I'm going to walk you through that example. What this formula does is, if I have to write this in a formula, and if this is x and if this is y, then this formula does x to the power 2 minus y to the power 2. So over here I put the formula in a manual way. So I have done square of each of these values, as you can see. So like 8 squared is 64. Similarly, I have done square of each of this value, which is 100, 121, 144. And then I've subtracted this and then I've totaled this. Now, the same thing which can be done is basically by putting this formula, which I can help you put over here. So sumx2 my2, open the bracket. You just need to select this array and then this array and close the bracket. And there you go. You will get the value. The next one is just the opposite of sumx2 my2. In sumx2 my2, we subtracted 2 squares of the values. Over here, we are going to add the 2 values. So again, if I have to put a formula over here, is x and y, then this is x to the power 2 plus y to the power 2. And this is exactly what I'm showing over here. So what I've done is I've just done the squares of each of these values and then I have added it over here. So in terms of formulaic representation, so what we're going to do is we're going to do sumx2 py2, select this array, comma, select this array, and then press enter, and I'm going to get the same values over here. The next one, which is the last one for sum, is sumx my2. What it does is it first subtracts the value and then does the square of the value. Again, if I have to do a formulaic representation, and if this is x and y, so what it does is it will open a bracket, x minus y to the power 2. So x minus y is 9 over here, and if I do a square of this becomes 81. And if I have to put in a formula basis, so this is sum x m y2, open the bracket, select the array, select this array and close the bracket, and there you go. So we discussed 8 formulas related to the sum function in Excel. This is all what I had for this particular video. If you enjoyed this video, do subscribe to my channel and do give a like for this video and click on the bell button so that whenever I upload new video, you are able to get access to those videos. You can also visit my website, which is www.starperformers.net, for a lot of training courses as well as a lot of other videos on Excel and other materials which might be useful to you. Till then, enjoy learning Excel.